Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Madden 18 and to my rebuilding the Cleveland Browns playthrough. I imagined you guys thought we were never going to see another episode to this series, and to be fair, this is the final episode of the series. The last one was back in, I think, December, where we actually ended up winning the Super Bowl in probably the most climactic way possible in overtime on 4th down. It was so fantastic. But here today, we are going to be basically talking about everything I've done after that episode, which is basically the offseason, and we're also going to be simulating pretty far into my career here just to see how well I actually did rebuild the Cleveland Browns, because it's one thing to rebuild the Browns and play every single game. Like, I can influence a lot of things while I'm actually playing the games, regardless if I'm playing a little Madden or not, but it's a different thing if I actually simulate to see how the team I built stacks up against the AI of Madden 18. So here in this video, we're going to be simulating a couple of seasons, as well as, of course, talking about the real-life changes that the Cleveland Browns have been making, which, spoiler, for those who don't pay attention, they have been making waves in the National Football League, which is fantastic. As a Browns fan, I've been waiting for this for so freaking long, but we'll get to that here in a moment. Right now, let's take a look at my team as we're about to enter a brand new season. So DeShone Kizer, coming off his Super Bowl victory, is a 92 overall. We still have Cardale Jones as my backup, because it makes sense having old Cardale be our backup. At running back, Duke Johnson Jr., 85 overall, with Kristen Michael, who won us the Super Bowl on 4th down because Duke Johnson was hurt. 75 overall being a backup. We have Darius Jackson here at 64. You guys may remember, I had this really speedy running back that I signed in the playoffs last season to fill in for Duke Johnson Jr. because I had some injuries at running back, and that running back actually did fantastic for us. He actually got a couple of touchdowns and really carried us in the AFC Championship game. He disappeared in the offseason. I think it's because he had such a low overall. Madden just basically deleted him from the game. I don't know, but he's gone, unfortunately. At fullback, I end up getting a rookie in the draft, which is a pretty solid rookie, if I'm being honest. 77 overall. He's from Georgia. He's actually got a little bit of speed, but he's also a pretty good blocker as well, so I'm pretty happy with that right there. Plus, the fullback we had previously was really costing us a lot of money. At wide receiver, Davion Olsen, my man right there, 84 overall. We have Corey Coleman there at 84. We have Josh Gordon still at 78, and I have a feeling it would honestly be better. As much as I hate to say it, I think it would be better for me to put in Cooper Kupp or put in Braxton Miller, because the overalls are very similar, but these guys are much younger, whereas Josh is kind of old at this point, right? And I don't see him actually getting much better in terms of overall, but I can't bench Josh. He's so freaking good. We're going to have him in there in the slot with Cooper Kupp and Braxton Miller coming in as our speed guys. And then, of course, Andre Warford, the forgotten about wide receiver. So when I drafted Davion Olsen, that was a pretty big deal, but I also drafted Andre Warford for the same reason. 6'5", 234 pounds, big guy that can go up and get the ball. He's not as good, obviously, as Davion Olsen, but he's there at number 6 in case we have some wide receiver injuries. At tight end, we have David Njoku, of course, with Chance Hurley, who I drafted last year at 74, and then Niles Paul as our third-string tight end. Joe Thomas, not yet retired in my Madden franchise. He's still there at left tackle with Deshaun Humber, a guy I drafted being a backup who may have to start for him next year. Who knows how long Joe's actually going to be playing. At left guard, Joel is still starting with, we have a rookie here from Eastern Michigan being his backup. And at center, we still have J.C. Treader, though I will say Wayne Dennis out of nowhere for no reason whatsoever. He didn't start really at all last season, besides maybe a few games. And he ended up jumping like 12 overalls in the offseason for some reason. Like, he got a bunch of experience. So Wayne Dennis is there at center. As a backup, of course. Kevin Zeitler there at right guard with Spencer being the backup to him. And at right tackle, we, of course, have Lane Johnson, who I traded for last season, who is a very good lineman, 91 overall, with Wayne Dennis backing him up. Now, the reason why is because I don't have another right tackle. I could put in some backup left tackles or maybe just switch this guy's position to right tackle. But instead of doing all that, I'm like, you know what? We're going to have Wayne go play right tackle as a backup so he can actually get some more reps this season, whether, you know, Lane Johnson is tired or what have you. So that way, maybe his overall can go even higher, because if he jumps up 12 overalls in his first season, even though he didn't play, imagine how much he can go in the coming seasons, right? So I want to see how that plays out. At left end, we have Stanley Schmidt, the guy I drafted last year. He did pretty good. He wasn't like a runaway success or anything like that, but he did pretty good. 84 overall with Carl Nassib backing him up. At right end, we have Myles Garrett, of course, with Emmanuel Ogbah backing him up. Excuse me. We have Danny Shelton still with the Browns here in my season, no longer in real life, at 88 overall. Don Terry Poe at 87 overall. Larry Ogunjobi, I knew how to pronounce that at one point. Jaron Armstrong, a rookie from Pittsburgh, and then of course Ogba just kind of filled out there for the depth chart. At left outside linebacker, we still have Jamie Collins Sr., but I signed Clay Matthews, who is a free agent this offseason, and the reason why I wanted to sign him was because Clay's dad, for those who don't know, played for the Browns way back in the day, so I'm like, that's kind of a cool thing, you know, so I'm gonna sign him. He can be a backup linebacker for us. Also got a guy by the name of Barry Savage. I had to draft him because his name was Barry Savage as a backup linebacker there. We still have Tyler Worthy starting at middle linebacker, but I did draft another linebacker called Jaron Collins, who is actually really fast and just really good overall, it seems. So I'm pretty happy about that. Unfortunately, Joe Schubert had to drop down in the depth chart here, and then of course we have Clay Matthews. I'm actually really stacked at linebacker. Like, I have so many linebackers that I want to have starting and getting play time. Then we have Kristen Kirksey there. At corner, I ended up trading up and ended up drafting Dre Claybrooks, who is a rookie from Ohio State, 82 overall. I'm so happy with this pick, man. 96 speed, 97 acceleration, 92 agility. So freaking good. His man coverage and zone coverage also pretty good as well. He's not the best, but for a rookie, 82 overall, he's going to be a pretty solid corner. Joe Hayden, who of course I traded for in my career here to get him back on the Browns. He is there at number 2. We have Jamar Taylor at number 3, Jason McCourty at number 4, and D. Milner at number 5. At safety, we still have Harrison Smith, who I traded for a couple of seasons ago, with Derek Kindred backing him up. And at strong safety, we have Jabril Peppers and Miles Bruton, who I drafted, backing him up. I'm worried about Jabril Peppers, honestly, because he's been here for both seasons I've done this playthrough, and his overall has gone up like 2. I think he started off as maybe a 77 overall, and now he's a 79. And stat-wise, he's not really... Oh, I can't... I'm in the depth charts. So I can't actually look at his stats right now. Wait, can I click his name this way? No, you can't click his name whatsoever. He's not really doing anything crazy stat-wise either, so I'm wondering if maybe we should honestly get rid of Jabril Peppers, because in Madden anyway, he's not really working out all that much. And then we have Zane Gonzalez at kicker, with Jacob Schum punting. And there you go. That's my team. That's what I did in the offseason. Not too many wild, crazy changes. Basically still the same team that we had previously, but a little bit different. Signed some pretty key players, I would say. So let's go ahead and advance the week here and just sim to the playoffs and see what's going on with this team here. So yes, we are going to be jumping ahead. Now let's go ahead, while this is happening, and talk about the actual Cleveland Browns and all the ridiculous, crazy changes that have been made so far. So if you guys haven't been following it, I've actually got this all written down here, just so I make sure I can follow everything that's actually happening. The Browns ended up trading a 4th-round draft pick this year and a 7th-round draft pick next year to the Dolphins for wide receiver Jarvis Landry, who in his 4 seasons in the NFL has averaged 100 catches for 1,000 yards each of those 4 seasons. That is a really incredible pick. I am so happy about that. The Browns are actually making changes this offseason. He's going to be really good, I think, with Corey Coleman, David Njoku, and Josh Gordon. I mean, having those guys already was pretty good. The only problem is we never really had a good quarterback. And now we have Jarvis Landry in there as well. That's a pretty solid wide receiver core, if you ask me. We also ended up trading a 3rd-round draft pick to the Bills this year for quarterback Tyrod Taylor. Now, here's the thing. Tyrod, I think, is 28 years old right now, but the thing about Tyrod Taylor, he's a good quarterback, right? He does not turn the ball over whatsoever. He is super conservative. He's a good quarterback, and the team that he's playing on right now, like, again, with Corey Coleman, David Njoku, Josh Gordon, and all that, he is going to have the best talent around him that he's ever had in his career. So if he's done good previously, he's going to do even better this season. Though here's the thing. It's looking like Tyrod may be a bridge quarterback. And by a bridge quarterback, I mean he's going to be the quarterback who just kind of gets us to our next quarterback who we're likely going to be drafting 1st overall or maybe 4th overall in this year's draft. So that kind of stinks. Like when I first heard we got Tyrod Taylor, I was super excited because I was like, man, Tyrod's going to be the guy. Like he's our new quarterback. Finally, we're no longer, just drafting quarterbacks and signing old has-beens. We got a guy who's, 27, 28, like middle of his career, already a proven starter, good solid guy who can be made even better. But it's looking like they don't want to actually make him be the guy, like the new face of the franchise, which is kind of disappointing. But at least for the time being, playing, he's going to be a solid quarterback. And speaking of quarterback, they traded DeShone Kizer, who of course is my starter here in the franchise. They traded him and 2 picks to the Packers for defensive back Demarius Randall and 2 Packer draft picks. So he's a solid young corner, which is something we really need. I've actually heard things he may be moving to safety, but regardless, he's a solid defensive back that we really need here for the Browns because we ended up getting rid of cornerback Jason McCourty. They traded him to the Patriots for a draft pick. They also got rid of defensive tackle Danny Shelton and traded him to the Patriots for a draft pick. And we'll cover the rest of that here in a moment. But as you guys can see, we are now at the end of our season. 2 rushing touchdowns. Duke Johnson Jr. helped lead the Browns to a 29-28 victory over the Ravens. The big question is, did we actually make the playoffs? How did we do without me actually playing? Is my team actually any good, or is it all just me influencing everything? Let's find out, ladies and gentlemen. 11-5. All right, not too bad. I was honestly really worried that we were going to go like, I don't know, 4-12 and just everything was going to fall apart and like my team is actually garbage. But it turns out we're actually pretty good. I mean, you look at the stats and the overalls of all the people here. These are some pretty good players. Let's check out the actual statistics. And, oh, look at you, Deshaun. Look at you, 4,300 yards and 31 touchdowns. 12 interceptions, so not exactly the best season ever. If you compare those stats, let's go down here to the stats and awards and stuff like that. You compare those stats to the ones I put up. It's actually better than my first season, but not nearly as good as the second season. I mean, not bad. Not a bad year for DeShone Kizer. And then we had our boy Cardale Jones coming in throwing a touchdown as well. There we go. The Duke. Actually, not really a great season from Duke Johnson, if I'm being honest. Over 300 carries. That's a lot for a guy his small. Under 4 yards per carry, under 10 touchdowns, and under 1,200 yards. I mean, he got 1,000 yards on the ground, which isn't bad. We also had Kristen Michael. What? Poor Duke. Duke, you were robbed! Why are we robbing the Duke? Why is Kristen Michael our goal line running back? Kristen Michael ran in 14 touchdowns, and Duke only got 8? So if we stopped taking Duke out at the goal line, he could have had 20 touchdowns on the ground. Oh no! Then Darius Jackson even. Wow, we ran in a lot of touchdowns. Even the rookie got involved. That's actually incredible. Okay, receiving-wise, my man, Davion Wilson, 1,000 yards. Josh Gordon, 1,000 yards. Corey, Mr. Red Zone. He had 1 touchdown. Do you guys remember? In my last season, Corey Coleman was Mr. Red Zone. I loved him in the red zone on corner routes and slant routes and drag routes. 17 touchdowns. 1. Wow, talk about your fantasy football bust. Oh, man. Chance Hurley catching 5. Chance Hurley. Did Dave get hurt? I assume David Njoku got hurt because the backup tight end, Chance Hurley, had more catches and almost as many touchdowns. Wow, Duke didn't contribute that much coming out of the backfield. Cooper didn't really get involved a whole lot. Wow, my 4th and 5th string receivers barely touched the ball at all. Braxton and Andre Warford didn't even get a catch this season. Wow, they at least got catches when I was there. When I was playing, at least they would get catches. Like Braxton here, we check out his stats from the past 2 seasons when I had him. 5 catches season 1, at least 1 catch in season 2 for a touchdown. Nothing in season 3, apparently. Let's check out the defense. I'm always so excited when it comes to the defense here. Tyler Worthy, all right, 133 total tackles. 95 from Jabril Peppers. There you go, Jabril. But here's the thing. Like I said, he doesn't get stats. Like, he gets tackles and stuff, but half a sack and no picks coming from a safety. I mean, he does play run support, I suppose, but still, it's weird, you know? Jaron Collins, the backup middle linebacker, getting 88 tackles. Kirksey there at 86. 86 tackles for the rookie with 4 interceptions. Old Dre Claybrooks. Oh, that's awesome. 19.5 sacks from Myles Garrett. That's great. 85 tackles. Jamar Taylor in there. Joe Hayden getting involved. Let's check out the sacks now. Oh, Stanley. Stanley, don't be a bust on me, man. Don't be a bust. Like, season 1, you did okay. It was your rookie year. 12.5 sacks. I'm like, that's good. It's not like the 15+ I was hoping for, but that was a pretty decent season. But to go 6.5 for season 2, little worried. Little worried he may be busting out on me here. Jamie Collins gets some sacks from the linebacker position, as is Kristen Kirksey. Danny Shelton getting involved. Not bad. What are we doing for interceptions here? So we had 4 from the rookie, 2 from Kirksey, 2 from Tyler Worthy, 2 from the old Joe Hayden, 2 from Jamar Taylor, 2 from Harrison Smith. Harrison didn't really do much this year, unfortunately, considering we're paying him so much money to do stuff. Jamie Collins, Jaron Collins, Miles even got involved. Not bad. How'd we do kicking? Ooh, Zane, 70%. I'm going to need that to be like 85 or better. 70? Ugh. You did make a 56-yarder. Let's see here. What were you missing exactly? Ah, that's okay then. You were 5 of 12 from 50 yards. 7 of your misses were from 50 yards. He actually didn't miss a single field goal under 50 yards all season. All right, Zane, that's fine. That's fine. Never mind. I apologize for that. Not bad. Good season. Good season. And Jacob Schum, solid as always. 44 yard average, 41 net average, which is very good. I look for a 40-yard net average for my punters, so that's not bad. Coop and Braxton returning kicks and punts here. No touchdowns or anything like that. All in all, pretty solid season, honestly. I'm pretty happy with it. I know you guys love looking at this stuff, so really quickly, I don't want to do this for every season because I plan to simulate a lot of seasons here in this video. But we'll always take a look at what's going on with the rest of the league. Freaking Eli Manning, of all teams, of all players, rather, getting 5,000 yards. Okay. With Phillip Rivers being right behind him, then Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers, Prescott, Matt Ryan, then there's Kaiser, Andy Dalton, and Jameis Winston's on the Chiefs now. Okay. Oh, yeah, because they got that new guy down there. I forgot they drafted him last season. Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, Kavensky, I think. Teddy Bridgewater. Okay. Okay. Kirk Cousins still for the Redskins. Who led the league in touchdowns? Aaron Rodgers. So, wait. How did... Where's Tom? Did Tom Brady retire? Tom got hurt. Tom got hurt bad because he only played like half the season with those stats. Who threw the most picks? Oh, Dak Prescott did. Matt Ryan, Ben. Okay, let's check out the running backs really quickly. Just give you... Oh, Todd Gurley. Look at this freaking monster. All right, Todd's definitely doing pretty freaking well. I can't believe we had 14 touchdowns out of my backup running back. Tied for third in the league. I mean, there's 3 people tied for second, but yeah, you tied for third here, essentially, in essence. That's nuts. Receiving wise, any big breakouts? Odell. Yeah, that explains why you like all those yards. Then Emmanuel Sanders was number 2 of all people. It's so weird. Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Hopkins. Who had the most touchdowns? Trey Wimper. This guy, so he was drafted after my first season, I suppose, then, huh? AJ Green. I was really considering trying to trade for him last season. So a lot of the same people you'd expect, but Chris Godwin, I don't think anybody actually expected him. But then again, we didn't really have I mean, if 10 touchdowns is 4th place in the league, that's not exactly a big season for lots of people getting touchdown catches. There's old Jarvis Landry. He did pretty good. Not too bad. And then, I don't even think we really need to check out defense. So I just want to see really quick, like, who led the league in sacks? Hey, Ryan Shazier, my man. 24 sacks? Jeez. 22 from Aaron Donald. 19.5. There's old Myles Garrett down. I thought Myles did good, 19.5, but he's tied for 3rd. Jeez. Interceptions, anybody crazy? I mean, 6 picks in one season is not bad at all. Not bad whatsoever. Okay, so let's back out of here. And how should I do this? Should I just sim to the Super Bowl to see if we actually made it? And then we can actually go back and look at the play. I think there's a playoff schedule somewhere in there that we can actually look at, and that will show us if we end up losing, what round we lost in, who we lost to, so on and so forth. And we'll see who wins the Super Bowl. And then I think what we're going to do is, I don't want to make this like a 10-hour video. I'm going to, I think, do the off-season, but just jump ahead essentially until we're ready for next season and quickly show you like maybe who I drafted or who I signed in free agency. And then while that's simming, we'll go back to talking about the real-life Browns and stuff like that. Okay, so I don't know if we're out of the playoffs yet, but I just remembered something. Playoff schedule. I just remembered something. I'm actually really annoyed right now. The Packers and the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. So how was it? The conference champ. Okay, we didn't even make it to the conference championship. Wow, we got beat 47-28 against the Chargers in the divisional round. So we got knocked out in our first playoff game. But what I just remembered I forgot to do is I forgot to progress my entire team. I have it set up so their experience isn't automatically taken out or anything like that, like throughout the season. So I can basically make them ridiculously good at the end of the season when it's time for playoff time. But I forgot to do that. So as you guys can see, we have a bunch of overalls and stuff like that to go through here and improve my team with. And I like to do this stuff manually because I like to really have full control of my entire team. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we're going to jump ahead to next season. Well, actually, before we do that, let's just show you guys. I don't want to advance to the offseason necessarily. I'll show you who wins the Super Bowl. All right, so after a very long offseason, we are finally ready for, what is this now, Season 4 of this playthrough? And what an offseason it was. It's actually pretty interesting. So Joe Thomas retired on us, unfortunately, and a couple of guys thought they'd be tough when it came to free agency, but I got the guys I think I actually wanted by and large, and I got to bring back a bunch of people that I wanted to have here still on the team. So Deshaun Kaiser's now a 94 overall. Duke Johnson's an 86. I ended up drafting, wow, the depth chart, I just set the depth chart and it already changed around. I ended up drafting a running back in the first round with the 28th overall pick, and that running back is Barry Pope. He's only a 76 overall, unfortunately, so I'm kind of disappointed by that. He's already injured. That's why he was taken down so far. He's already injured from the freaking preseason. But he's a really fast running back. He was projected to be a lot better than he actually is, unfortunately, but I figured with Duke kind of struggling last season, and a lot of his time being taken away for Kristen Michael, then maybe we get a different running back in there, but that running back's already injured, so that's kind of rough. We still have our fullback there. At wide receiver, nothing has changed from last season, besides their overalls have gone up, of course, by making their stats better with all the stats they earned from last season. Tight end, pretty much still the same. At left tackle here, now that Joe Thomas is gone, I ended up drafting Olin Wilkerson to take his place at 71 overall, and I chose him over the other guys because he's a little bit better at blocking. Like Casey Dawson has slightly better pass blocking, but Olin's here, his run blocking is much better, especially compared to the Sean Humbers. So I figured he's the best one we got, and that's going to be our guy. He's a rookie, thrown right to the Wolves. Left guard is still the same. Center, I ended up getting rid of J.C. Treader, because J.C. Treader wanted a lot of money, and I'm like, you know what? He can go for that money. I'm more than happy to put in Wayne Dennis, who's only 2 seasons in. We're actually going into his 3rd year now, and he's going to progress. I plan to simulate, like, I forget, like 7 more seasons or something like that. So by that point, I think Wayne is going to be an awesome center, so I'm pretty happy about that. And then right guard and right tackle are still the same as last year. At defensive end, Stanley Schmidt is there once again with a new rookie being his backup. Hopefully, he can have a better season than last year. Myles Garrett is now a 97 overall, which is freaking absurd. Defensive tackle is still the same as last year. Left outside linebacker Jamie Collins is still starting, but Clay Matthews retired, so Barry Savage is now his backup. Tyler Worthy is now an 86, and Jaron Collins is an 82, so I'm happy with my middle linebackers right now. Joe Schubert is now back as well, and right outside linebacker Kristen Kirksey, with Schubert actually backing him up. Dre Claybrooks has so many stats to use after last season, like so much experience, that I was able to make him become a 91 overall. Very happy with that. We brought back Joe Hayden. We re-signed him for 2 more seasons. I imagine he's going to be retiring soon. I ended up getting Vernon Hargreaves. This is like the big free agency acquisition. I got him in free agency. He's a solid corner. I'm pretty happy with it. Jason McCourty is still here, and they'll end up signing Cyrus Jones, who's taking the place of D. Milner, who is still on the team, but Cyrus is a little bit better. And so we're going to be putting him there as our our 5th corner. Harrison Smith's still here with a new backup. That new backup being Cole Schultz, a rookie out of Missouri. 6'4", which is really cool. When I saw he was 6'4", I'm like, that's a really good height for a safety. I like that. You can't throw over a 6'4" guy. And then Jabril Peppers is now 82, having a pretty good season last year. And then we have TJ freaking Ward, actually, is the backup, who was a starter in Cleveland for a very long time. I saw him in free agency, and I'm like, you know what? I have to sign him. It needs to be done. Because he's one of those guys similar to Joe Hayden. We're going to advance all the way to the playoffs. Similar to Joe Hayden, similar to Joe Thomas, and a couple of the other Browns, like DeQuan Jackson, something. DeQuell Jackson. Why do I think it was DeQuell? It's DeQuell Jackson. Like, players like that, for the longest time, I would always try to bring them back to the Browns organization for my Madden franchises because they were like such good starters for so many years for the Browns. Josh Cribbs is another example, and they just never went anywhere, and they moved on to other teams. I'm like, you know what? If you're looking for a job, you can come on back. I don't care what money you want. You can come on back and be a backup for my team because you deserve it. But going back to what the Browns have actually been doing in the offseason, so we covered they got rid of Jason McCourty, they got rid of Danny Shelton. They picked up, of course, Jarvis Landry, Tyrod Taylor, and Demarius Randall. But they also got former Ohio State Buckeye Carlos Hyde, the running back. You know, the one from San Francisco? He is now a Cleveland Brown, which is good and bad. Like, he's a solid running back, I think. But here's the thing. I don't think Carlos Hyde is like the next Adrian Peterson or anything like that, right? I don't think he's the next Todd Gurley or anything. He's been in the league for a couple of years. He's been a solid starter. I don't like the fact that they signed him. And the reason why I don't like the fact that they signed him is it says to me they are not going to be drafting Saquon Barkley in the first round, which of course is the best running back in the draft this year. He's supposed to be going in the top 5, but of course is from Penn State. He looks like an awesome running back, and to me, like, seeing a running back drafted that high is concerning, obviously. I mean, you don't typically see running backs getting drafted that highly, but it would be awesome to have, you know, a new Adrian Peterson in the league, or a new Todd Gurley, or, you know, all the new running backs that have been popping up over the past couple of years. It'd be awesome if the Browns had one of those. And we already know that Carlos Hyde isn't that. So to me, it's like, I'd rather not have Carlos Hyde and then draft Barkley and then at least have the chance of Barkley being something great as compared to knowing what we're going to get with Carlos Hyde. But regardless, Carlos Hyde got signed. They got tight end Darren Fells, which is a solid tight end. Corner TJ Carey, who played 4 years in Oakland. Cornerback EJ Gaines, who started last year for Buffalo. And then they signed various offensive and defensive linemen. And the cool thing about the Browns in general is the draft is going to be huge. I know we're at the end of the season here, but they have the first overall draft pick this year, the 4th overall draft pick this year, 3 picks in the 2nd round, a pick in the 4th round, a pick in the 5th round, and 2 picks in the 6th round. That is 9 overall draft picks that they have this year, with 2 of them being in the top 5 and 4 of them being in the top 50. There's a lot the Browns can do. I'm happy with the offseason changes by and large. I'm hoping they don't go crazy with the draft. I'm hoping they don't flunk out with the draft like they typically do. Sam Darnold looks to be the first overall pick, the quarterback from USC. That's fine. I mean, if they're not going to commit to Tyrod Taylor, I'm cool with them drafting a quarterback. But again, I really wish they would draft Barkley and just have him kind of be the guy. Like, have him split time with Duke Johnson. I honestly don't know why they got Carlos Hyde, but we'll see how it plays out, I suppose. Hopefully, this time next year, I'm biting my tongue because Carlos Hyde just tore it up for us. But I'm very excited for the future of the Cleveland Browns. And there's them snaking all my practice squad players. That's fine. What are the standings? 7-9. 7-9. The Steelers went 12-4 again, but we went 7-9. What happened to cause us? Oh wow, we didn't put up a lot of points, and then we gave up a lot of points. We went 3-5 at home and 4-4 on the road. Well, let's look at the stats. I have a feeling injuries probably played into this a little bit. We'll have to see here. Kaiser stats are way down from last season. Yeah. Well, no. He played the whole season pretty much. His stats are just really down. 3,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, 10 picks. Not really making a lot happen there. Running the ball, we did. Wow, what happened to you guys? 300 carries again for Duke. Again, under 1,200 yards and under 10 touchdowns. Poor Duke. Kristen Michaels there. Is my running back out for the season? He's probably out for the entire season, Barry, because he didn't get to play whatsoever. Wow, we had a really rough go of things here. There's Corey Coleman, not a single receiver over 1,000 yards. Even Davion, for crying out loud, who averaged 15 yards a catch, wasn't enough because he only got 47 catches. Cooper Kupp got randomly involved. How many injuries did we have that Cooper Kupp is up there in catches this year? I don't know. Then there's Duke, there's Braxton getting involved. Chance getting a couple of touchdowns. Man, that is a rough go of things. Wait a minute. Tyler Worthy had to have gotten hurt then, because Tyler Worthy, our starting middle linebacker, had 83 tackles, and then the backup had 118, so he definitely got hurt. How'd we do sacks-wise? 14 from Miles. Stanley, under 4? Under 4 sacks, Stanley? I wouldn't say he's a draft bust, but man, he's definitely not worthy of the... Did I take him first overall? I think I did. Goodness, man. Danny not really getting a whole lot involved here. How we do... oh, there's old Dre. The one shining light in our defense. Old Dre Claybrooks. 7 interceptions, 91 overall. Probably going to be much higher now. There you go, Jabril. 3 picks, 87 tackles. Joe Hayden, 88, even at his age. 3 interceptions. Not bad. The defense, they were scrappy. They really were, but man, they just... wow, 4 forced fumbles for Chris and Kirksey. Recovered 2 of them. Any blocks? No. Any safeties? No. Any defensive touchdowns? Ah, Harrison Smith took one back with one of his 3 interceptions. Man, that's disappointing. A losing season. 7-9. Zane Gonzalez, yet again, really good season there. Wow, 85%. That is much better. Didn't miss a single field goal outside of 50 yards. Went 5 for 7 past 50. Or 5 for 9, rather. Really good. I'm happy. I'm happy with how the defense played for the most part. But, man, it looks like our offense fell apart. We threw only 25 touchdowns, and we ran in, was that 16? Which isn't terrible, but among 4 different backs. I just realized that my fullback had 7 touchdowns and led us with touchdown carries. Wow, the offense really fell apart this season. That is unfortunate. You guys like to see this kind of stuff. Let's go ahead and... check, where am I going here? We'll check out the entire league, I suppose, just to give you guys an idea of what's going on. And now that we've covered all of the... Who is this guy? Rashard Dykes. I did see Philip Rivers was a free agent. Philip Rivers was number 2 in the league in passing yards, and they cut him and became a free agent. Oh, he ended up going to Minnesota. There he is. All right, cool. At least he's not sitting on his couch. Wow, yeah, so we're starting to get to the point where we're starting to see a lot of rookies taking over for the... established real-life starters and stuff like that. So what I plan to do here is I'm going to... Cam Newton, 21 picks. Is I'm going to be simming ahead... Let's see, this is the 4th season. We can sim ahead like 3 seasons or something like that. Here's the thing, we're just going to be cutting ahead in the video because I really like doing all the offseason stuff, and I really like having everything... controlling everything, essentially. I wanted to draft this guy, by the way. I wanted to get him, but he wasn't there 28 overall. He got taken earlier by the Lions. It looked like he worked out for him with his 16 touchdowns. But we're going to jump ahead a couple seasons. I'm going to do all the offseason stuff like that. We're just going to kind of like check in, see where the team is, and see what's going on with the team in general. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Again, this is going to be the final episode of the series. What we're essentially doing here is we're going ahead till, Coach Joe Nero is in like his 11th or 12th season. And we're going to look at the overall record and see how the team progressed and see how players like Deshaun, because I'm keeping as many players as I can. I want to see how they performed over the entirety of their careers and stuff, So that's going to be pretty cool. We'll go yearly awards here. NFL MVP went to Le'Veon Bell. I can see that. Coach of the Year was Mike Mularkey. And AFC, I don't think I had any rookies yet. I don't think I had any rookies or anything like that even could have been considered for this, which is unfortunate. Yeah. All right, so we're going to jump ahead. I don't know, 3 or 4 seasons, something like that. I'll catch you guys ahead in the video. All right, so here we are in the year 2029. I feel as though I may have gone a little bit overboard when it came to the simulation, but that's okay. So in the year 2021, we went 10-6, and the year after that, we went 12-4. I think it's safe to say that the rebuild I was working on was working out pretty fine, but I decided, you know what? Instead of just doing this year by year and actually paying attention, doing the draft and doing the free agency signings and stuff like that, let's just freaking simulate super far into the future and see where we are. And spoiler, I have no idea who any of these people are. So when I was actually running the show and controlling everything, we're doing great. You get 10 wins a season. Now we're 4-12, and I don't recognize a single person that is left on this team right now. I actually want to go through and like look and see where my players ended up, what their stats are through their careers and stuff like that. But as you guys can see here, all new people. All new people. I don't think there's a single person here that I actually drafted. I don't know who these people are anymore. Let's check the defense. Maybe some of my guys on defense are still going to be there. No, they're all gone. They are all gone. This is a completely different team. So you may be wondering, what happened to Deshaun Kaiser, right? Because he was kind of like, even though in real life he's now a Packer and he's not even part of the Browns anymore, he was kind of like the project of this Madden series. He was the quarterback, the cornerstone of my entire rebuild, right? Well, he plays for the Bulls, I don't know who the Bulls are, what team became the Bulls, but Deshaun Kaiser is their quarterback. He is 13 seasons in, and he's had a pretty decent career, although not the Tom Brady / Peyton Manning I was hoping for him to be. So as you can see here, he ended up getting 22 touchdowns, 22, 23, 20, 18, 16, 25, 35. This was his best season in a decade, but by and large, he ended up having the crazy career that I thought he was going to have. But he does play for the Bulls. Again, I don't know what team became the Bulls and how all this came about, but I think it's pretty interesting regardless. Kind of a neat little thing right here. I wonder what ended up happening to Davion Olsen, my pride and joy, that wide receiver was. Is he still in the league? Like, is he one of the top guys? Like, let's check the yardage out here. So I don't know these guys. No, these are all just AI guys. All AI. Oh, is that real? No, that wasn't a real person up there. No, all AI. All AI. Is there a single actual receiver left in the league at this point? Because I bet you there isn't. I'll bet you there isn't. And Davion Olsen, surprisingly enough, is not one of these people whatsoever. Is he actually going to be... Wow, wait a minute. Brandon Cooks is still around 16 years in. We got the new Tim Brown over here. The new Jerry Rice just will not go down. I want to see his stats. I would love it if, like, randomly he was like had the most yards in NFL history now, just because he played so freaking much. Even this late in his career, he was doing pretty good. 1,000 yards, not really getting 10 touchdowns or anything like that, but he was doing okay. So what we're actually going to do here is just to see if Davion is even still in the league anymore. We're going to sort by alphabetical order and just go down to the O's and see if he's actually there. If not, that's a shame, because I would like to know how far he made it and like what his career stats were. No, there's one O receiver left in the league, and that's not Davion. Davion, rather. Wow. That is insane. That is really insane. David Njoku's still around. All right. That makes sense, though. I don't understand. Like, why is Davion gone, but David's still here? Davion came a year... 2 years? 1 or 2 years after David, so I don't know why he'd be retired, but David isn't. But David, that traitor, is playing for the Ravens now. And let's just take a look here. I mean, in terms of tight ends, those are good stats right there. Those are really good stats for a tight end. How about Tyler Worthy? Is he still running around? Let's see here. We'll quickly go by tackles here. No, I'm not seeing any W's. I'm not seeing it. We'll sort this by alphabet then. I just want to see. I wish I knew like it was easier. There's Tyler Worthy. There he is. I drafted him out of Pittsburgh. He was the pride and joy of my defense there for many years, and he's still going strong. 88 tackles, 12 years in the league. Let's take a look at just get an idea of like what he's had over the course of his career. All right, so he's been slipping, I suppose, in the past couple of seasons, but that may be due to either age or injury. I'm not sure, but as you guys can see, he was pretty solid since I drafted him. He had a couple of seasons where he was hurt, but, I mean, as solid as you can possibly get. We're going corners. Clay Brooks. Let's go Clay Brooks now, and we'll check out and see if Clay Brooks is still around and how he's been doing with his career, because he took the league by storm when I drafted him, so I'd love to see if he's... actually doing really well right now, or what's going on with him. So he's now playing for the Dolphins. Okay, had 4 picks this past season. Not bad, 11 years in the league, which is not too bad for a corner. It seems like corners can go quite a long time, and once they can't go anymore, they move back to safety, and they can go even longer. So, I mean, he's doing good. I mean, 4 picks this year, 6 the one before that, 7, 3, 3, 2, 5, 2, 1, 7, 4. I mean, pretty good. Solid career right there. Solid career out of him. Man, I can't believe Davion Olsen's gone, though. How could Davion just retire on me like that? All right, so what also is going to be kind of fun, I think, is let's go ahead and check out the NFL records just to get a peek and see. Wow. So Ben Roethlisberger is now the all-time leading passer. Okay, by about 300 yards ahead of Aaron Rodgers, who's ahead of Tom Brady, who's ahead of Peyton Manning, and then, of course, Brett Favre and Drew Brees, Matt Ryan. Wow, so after all this time... Unfortunately, Deshaun Kaiser's not one of the top guys. But then again, he'd have to play, I think, 15-plus seasons, and he's not that far into his career yet. even here in Madden. So I could like simulate even further just to see if he would actually make it. But let's check out passing touchdowns. That's Aaron Rodgers. Rushing yards, nobody's going to beat Emmitt Smith, man. Le'Veon Bell got close. I imagine he's retired. He's got to be retired by now, right? But Le'Veon Bell got pretty close. Almost past Walter Payton. And then, wow, Ezekiel Elliott's there. Wow, this is actually pretty cool. Danny and Tomlinson. It's cool seeing all these old names. Christian McCaffrey. Wait, is that the Panthers running back, or is there a different C. McCaffrey that from like way back when that I'm not aware of? Because if so, that's crazy to me that Christian McCaffrey of all people is the guy that passed LT and passed Jerome Bettis, and LaMashawn McCoy's there apparently retiring with the Bulls, not the Bills. That is so cool. Rushing touchdowns, still Emmitt Smith. Can't beat him, man. Can't beat him. Jerry Rice, Odell Beckham Jr., Brandon Cooks. I said it. He's number 3 now. He's number 3 all time, ahead of T.O., Randy Moss, Larry Fitzgerald, Isaac Bruce. Wow, that's crazy. Receiving touchdowns, still Jerry Rice and Randy Moss, T.O., Marvin Harrison, my man. Des Bryant right there. Wow, Brandon Cooks. He just keeps playing. He just kept playing and playing and playing. And now he's one of the top receivers in NFL history, despite never really being like the big guy on any team, you know. Jerry Rice, number 1 in catches. Brandon Cooks is 3rd all time in catches. He's going to keep on going, man. He's a wild man. Myles Garrett, there we go. I was actually thinking I was missing somebody, but there we have Myles Garrett as the 4th all-time leading sack getter in NFL history, having retired, I think, with the Rams. I'm not sure if he's actually retired, however. I should go and see if he's actually still in the season and if he's still playing for the Rams or what's going on with him, because there's a chance he could be the best of all time, because I mean, he's only 12 seasons in or something like that. Like, he's got many more years left, you would think. And he's one really good season away from tying. 28 seems like a big stretch, but at the most, he's 3 seasons away from, you know, passing. That's Bruce Smith, right? And passing him for all-time leading sacks. That would be insane. That would be really cool. Defensive interceptions. Oh, man, Rod Woodson. Darren Sharper. So there's nobody there. No new names, I don't believe there. Is that Marcus Peters? That's kind of a newer name. Yeah, I was hoping for maybe a lot more people there. All-time leading season guys, maybe. Check out some of these stats really quickly just to see if anybody went crazy with it. I doubt anything big ended up happening. Nah, see, these are all just the same people that broke these records a very long time ago, and they were never actually topped in Madden. Actually, defensive sacks might have been topped. Yeah, well, yeah, 24. 22 is the actual record in real life, and these two got 24. Defensive interceptions, 14 in one season. You're never going to beat that. Notice how the people that got all these picks did so like 60 or 70 years ago, because you'll never see that in like the modern day NFL. Even though they throw much more, it just, I don't know, you'll never see like one person being able to do anything crazy like that. So here's all the stats. Not really anything has changed. Let's go ahead and see if Myles Garrett still plays. He should. You would think that he would, honestly. Come on, there we go. Defensive. And we're just going to... Well, actually, we're still set to the Browns here. Let's go ahead and take this up to NFL and put it in alphabetical order just to see if he's still around. Like, I don't want to search like up and down to see if he's actually, you know, the top sack guy or top tackle guy or anything like that. I just want to see if he's still in the league, because if so, I may simulate a couple more seasons just to see if he becomes the all-time leading sack getter, because that's going to be a good sign. Oh, he's still around. 13 years in, got 11 sacks this past season. Oh, I'm actually kind of excited about this. Let's see. He's definitely slowing down. His past 5 seasons, he has definitely slowed down quite a bit. Well, now I want to see if Myles Garrett is going to become like the greatest defensive end in the history of the NFL. Because if Madden's good for anything, it's good for predicting the future, right? And as a Cleveland Browns fan, I need to know, is Myles Garrett going to be the all-time leading sacker in NFL history? So let's simulate even further down the line. All right, so after simulating 3 more seasons, Myles Garrett ended up retiring, and he ended up getting 3rd all-time in sacks, which is unfortunate, man. He could have really got it. Like, he retired, I feel like 6 or 7 years before he should have, honestly. And Deshaun Kaiser's still running around. He is like 17 seasons in at this point, but he's not even in like one of the top guys for passing yards or anything like that, because on average, he doesn't really get that many passing yards. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the conclusion of this series. Now, the series technically ended after we won the Super Bowl, but I feel as though we should come back for one more episode here and just talk about Madden in general. Talk about, you know, what we did with this series and how fun it was and what I was able to accomplish rebuilding the Browns. And, you know, getting to the Super Bowl in 2 seasons was great, and winning the Super Bowl in the way that we did was fantastic. And I'm excited about the future of the real-life Browns as well, because, of course, the new Madden, I mean, just like Call of Duty, every single year there's going to be a new Madden, and it's going to be fun playing with the Browns this upcoming year, where we have, of course, Tyrod Taylor and Jarvis Landry, and hopefully all the really cool people we get from the draft. Like, it's going to be a pretty awesome year for Madden. I just really hope that they do something to make my player better than it was this year or the year before or the year before that, because as you guys know, my player mode has just stagnated so much as of recently. You look at like what they're doing with like the NBA 2K games, and you compare that to like to the Madden My Player, it's so freaking bad. Like, I would love to do another My Player series with Madden 19 or whatever it's going to be called, but you know, what are we going to do? It's hard to say what they're actually going to be doing with that game. Chances are it's going to be the exact same My Player that we saw, and they'll probably end up doing another Madden franchise or something like that. We're going to have to see how it plays out, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you guys so much for being here for this video and being part of the Madden 18 Rebuilding the Browns playthrough. It was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to Madden next year. I'm looking forward to all the other series I have planned here for Nearest Let's Plays. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. Drop me a rating, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.